Here's OG. Anunoby drive, step back, shot, tapped up, and not in. Cavaliers take it.
The Raptors' 5-game winning streak is over as they lose a close one to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 102-101. Welcome to the Scotia Club inside Scotiabank Arena. I'm Randy Urban, and this is Nightcap. And tonight we're joined by Paul Jones, Sherman Hamilton, and Amy Audibert. Lots to get to in this one. Tough loss for the Raptors. Amy, I'll start with you. It seemed like the Raptors were poised for a win most of the game. How was Cleveland able to edge this one out?
4.8 seconds. That was the one lead change tonight, and that's the part that just guts you. But I mean, really, Cleveland played to their strengths, right? They put so much pressure on the rim, I thought, on both ends, and it was really Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley and 52 points in the paint, where the Raptors were the number one team in terms of defending the paint coming into this one. So they did great, and I thought they defended OG's shot at the end just perfect, right? He had a hand extended and forced him to step back and take that, and so it was a tough-fought game. It was a lot of physical calls there, or non-calls.
Cleveland, you know, in this era when everybody's firing threes, I don't know if it's his dad's influence, J.B. Bickerstaff, his dad Bernie, who was like a tough, hard-nosed kind of coach, but they've kind of gone the other way. They're playing with the two bigs, with Mobley and Allen, and it would be three if Lauri Markkanen was out there, and he's got some of those perimeter skills. And as Amy said, they're getting into the paint. They're doing it the old-fashioned way. You know, if they didn't turn it over, that the turnovers really helped Toronto stay in the game. But there's an old-fashioned feel to Cleveland's game. And then they got the two powerhouses in the backcourt in Sexton and Garland, who are, I mean, they come at you downhill and they're fiercely competitive. So, man, Cleveland really took it to the, like, you sure we always talk about a 48-minute game?
Yeah.
They used every second of that 48 minutes.
Well, they had the perfect recipe for being on the road, right? You hang around,
lean them out,
you just edge them out at the tape, right? That's what they did. But you know what they did well was when the Raptors extended the lead, they never let them get too far ahead of them.
Yeah.
They stayed in contact, and you know I thought Garland did a great job in that fourth quarter and the third quarter. Early in those quarters, getting it done, and then late he was excellent. But I really think when you look at the battle, you knew the Raptors were going to have to be tough in the paint. This is a difficult Cleveland team in terms of playing around the rim, whether it's their glass or the other team's glass. And I thought that Cleveland did a very good job really putting pressure on the paint of the Raptors. And when the Raptors tried to attack, even OG's last shot, he couldn't get a straight line drive to the basket. He had to take a step back because Jarrett Allen was on his hip, and that thought of the shot blocker was there. So I think this Cleveland team has some really good pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Playoff team?
Well, I don't know about that, but
Play-in team?
when they get the seasoning and they get the reps together, because it's a young core now, they've got front court and back court, I think that this team could be very good down the road.
Play-in, yes, they could be. And look, because of the way they played, I thought they wrestled the pace of the game away from the Raptors. It suddenly slowed down, and even the turnovers weren't leading to those easy baskets. And when it got muddy in the half court, Toronto's ball movement, player movement kind of slowed. The physicality of Cleveland slowed that. And we talked about the last shot. I mean, the Raptors made some tough shots to keep the lead. OG with a stare down three. I mean, Carmelo would have been proud of that jab sequence, right? But there wasn't a lot of ball movement. There wasn't a lot of player movement. Somebody had to do it for them. So I give Cleveland credit for that. They shot 53% in the second half, holding the Raptors to 35%.
Despite all that, you know, Raptors had a chance to win at the end with OG. I feel comfortable with him taking that last shot at this stage in his career, at this stage in his game, the way he's been developing, especially this season.
He dropped 36 at Madison Square Garden on Monday, so yeah, he's earned the right to take that shot. And again, I thought he played it right. He just went against length. It almost dropped. It was a good shot, and Scotty almost got the putback. But just to your point, I feel a little rival. Like, I feel like you said, it's a young core. I think these teams, hopefully for years now, are going to battle, because that's not the Cleveland that we've been used to seeing the last couple of years. And so obviously it didn't go in favor of the Raptors, but I just wanted to add on that point. It's kind of exciting to think of that, you know, the East, who knows?
Yeah, not a lot of free throws again for the Raptors at home. Was there some calls that maybe...
Well, Cleveland was the aggressive team. They don't foul
We can't
people.
get fined, right?
Cleveland's number one in committing the fewest fouls.
Okay, yeah.
So this is their MO. This is not an aberration. This is how they play basketball. because they have the length at the rim, they have two guys who can block and alter shots, their guards press up on you. And they make it hard for you to stand there and shoot threes. Once you're going to the basket, they don't have to foul you now because they got guys who can clean it up at the hoop. So this is their MO. This isn't a surprise.
So is that how they were able to hold Toronto to just 21 in the fourth? Do you think it's just size and being vertical and like? I mean, what could the Raptors have done better? You think, Jones?
I thought they struggled with, and this will come with Toronto. I thought they struggled to get ball movement, player movement. I mean, some of that, as Sherm said, it's Cleveland. They push up, they're denying, no easy catches. You're running your offense from further out. They're using up time on the shot clock. All those things feed into it, and then it slows you down. I mean, you're making your cut, and somebody's putting a forearm on you or stepping in your path. Things don't run as smoothly. So it's all part and parcel of the defense, and that kind of D wears you down when you have to play against it continuously.
You like Mobley?
Who doesn't?
Historical.
Man,
he is.
Anybody at this table doesn't like Mobley, put up your hand.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about that young man's game.
Yeah.
And you can see that he doesn't have the body to really fulfill what he can do, but when he puts that body together, the skill set is off the chart.
He's not afraid, right? Like he has that confidence of a guy it's really strange. And OG has it, Scotty has it too, right?
I'm crediting Scotty a bit because I spoke to him before the game. Those two were roommates when they played on Team USA together, and he said that he's tried to crack Evan out of his shell a little bit. So maybe Scotty can contribute to that, which is great any other night but tonight, right?
Yeah.
I think that's characteristic of a bunch of kids in this draft class, Randy. They come in
social media kids. They're not afraid of anything.
Yeah, but they come in ready. They come in NBA ready. They've learned the game enough to be able to absorb the spotlight, understand what's going on. You know, we haven't seen a lot from Cade Cunningham, but you look at Mobley, you look at Scotty, you look at Suggs. Like
Jalen Green,
Giddey.
like 2, 3, 4. Josh Giddey, like
these guys are showing up.
These kids. This is not old time basketball.
And I'm happy for him because during COVID, right? Like how anxious that must have been of a time for all of them, right? Just not sure of how it was going to happen. So it is kind of nice to see them all shining a little bit here.
I'm going to date myself a bit, but
do it, Sherm.
Back in the day.
Which day?
This was way back.
Okay.
When they had the Twin Towers in Houston with Akeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson. Ralph Sampson at the University of Virginia, he was that kind of player like Evan Mobley.
Yes.
He was a guy at 7'2", whatever he was,
yeah.
And he could handle the ball, and he was fluid with it. I see a lot of that in Evan Mobley's game.
That's crazy.
He's got Jared Allen right beside him, too.
100%.
I mean, Jared Allen was great tonight.
Yeah. Well, that's good money spent by Cleveland on Jared Allen.
Yeah. But let's go back to the Raptors and Scotty Barnes. What did you think of his first game back from injury, Amy?
I mean, Scotty's going to be Scotty. I think he had 4 assists, which was the big one. I think just watching him facilitate. Mm-hmm. He's going to run. He's going to score. He's going to rebound. I mean, but my favorite stat, I think, with Scotty right now is that he leads the rookies in field goal percentage. He shoots 55% from the field, which means he's not throwing up crazy shots. I always think he did get up, I think, 19 tonight, right? Mm-hmm. So he did shoot the ball tonight because he's been encouraged to, but I don't think Scotty ever tries to come in and take over the ball game, right? Mm-hmm. He allows Freddie and he allows OG and he allows everyone else to also do their thing. And I thought that's Scotty. We're going to see that all the time.
He did a good job. He didn't show any rust. 2 games. Sometimes you're playing really well. You take a couple games off. You can be a little bit shaky coming back, a little bit short. I thought he was pretty good. And, all these reports of, he's not a great shooter. Man, he's knocking down mid-range jump shots. And he's not forcing threes. Like, he will take a 3 when it comes to him. But if he gets you in the mid-range or gets you down low, he's fierce when it comes to how many kids now follow their shot. Back in the day, we used to say that, follow your shot, right? Now it's one shot and peel back on defense. Scotty knows when he's missed, and he goes after it. So I thought he had a nice game for his first game.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I always like Scotty Barnes on the floor.
Yeah,
I mean, he just understands how to play. To your point, he's responsible with his shot. He understands what's a good shot, what's not a good shot.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
No, just what you said, and I'll let you finish, but he understands how to play. It's something we say, but it's crazy to see that at this age, at this level, in his first 6 games.
It's actually refreshing to see.
Yeah.
To see a young player that's not just playing the 3 or at the bucket game.
Right.
He's playing the in-between game as well. And, you know, you think about the way the NBA has trended. Everybody shoots the three or at the basket. That's the shots. So nobody's defending the mid-range in practices because nobody's shooting them in practices. So if you're a young player coming into this league, you want to get your free looks at the basket, it's going to be in the mid-range because they don't defend it. And Scotty is doing that.
Yeah. Raptors
Fred's getting
top
those shots
10.
too.
Raptors top 10 in mid-range field goal attempts, mid-range field goal percentage,
Right.
and mid-range field goal makes.
Yeah.
So
They're bucking the trend.
They're bringing it back. They're bringing it back.
But you know what though, and again, like we talk about the pendulum swinging. Some of those threes that we see in games, like old school people go,
Exactly.
like,
you know what? You're right.
Well, but that's the way the game's played. Yeah, but you shouldn't be taking that, or
Yeah.
you shouldn't be taking
Yeah.
that. Steph Curry can take that. You shouldn't. So get back to the mid-range.
We're all old school. I think we all think that, right?
At times.
Yeah.
Certain
Yeah.
extent,
Yeah.
But I will say, like a paint touch kick out is beautiful, right?
is.
Like,
That's what Cleveland got tonight.
and really, I don't care who it is. If it's a nice pass, you better let it fly. I do feel a little bit like that at times.
But Cleveland got that tonight, right?
I think
Yeah.
I missed a few jobs because I let it fly.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of the things that Coach Bickerstaff talked about.
Right.
Is just against Toronto, they were okay with taking a lot of those threes because they knew how well Toronto was defending in the paint. Sorry, I didn't mean to get in the middle of your joke, but we're talking hoops, guys, okay?
bad.
We were talking hoops. It was bad hoops.
Yeah.
It was bad hoops.
But also, I just want to say one thing.
Yes.
Gary Trent Jr.,
Yeah.
career high.
Yeah.
Did I just take your job?
No,
Sorry.
take it,
Six
take it.
steals. I mean, the guy, it's unfortunate that they didn't get the win tonight because I wish he would have gotten a bit more shine
And
as to what he did.
Almost forced that turnover on their
Yeah,
last possession,
again,
right? Like that would have been huge.
Again.
I will say this: the Raptors are so good at deflecting passes and
Yeah.
playing passing lanes. You're starting to see a few possessions throughout the game where going for that steal is costing them. You know what I mean? And you love the aggression, you love that energy, you love that ability to read the pass. Coach once told me, if you don't get the steal, you better foul him because you're compromising the four guys behind you when you don't get that steal. So it's just a few possessions, but Gary Trent's energy and I think his anticipatory skills are off the charts when it comes to when you're locked in defensively like that, it's like you're a step ahead of the offensive guy. And that's where Gary Trent looks like he's at right now.
I spoke to him last week about that because he said, I know I can defend the ball, but why is everyone else taking these risks? And he says it's because he feels the length behind him, right? So he does gamble, what you're saying. And I mean, I don't want to get too excited, but when Pascal comes in the lineup, that is more inches than it's already out there. So it is exciting. I hear what you're saying. I think it's contagious though, right? It's contagious. Good defense. You get on or get off, and they are doing a pretty nice job out there with it.
Got to stop you there. Very, very happy that you all came on the show today and you didn't eat, so I'm going to have it all after this. Next game for the Raptors, Sunday afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, right back here at Scotiabank Arena against the Brooklyn Nets. We will see you then.